Next is from Brian Dunlop. Subject is AEW Worlds End K100 review and media scrum question. Happy New Year, K100. AEW Worlds End was in my general vicinity, 20-30 minutes away by car. I had enough money to go if I wanted to, but I didn't have the energy. AEW failed to sufficiently excite me about the event. However, I must say, when I did watch on my Chromebook after coming back from a friend's house, I'd have to rate World's End as the best AEW show I've watched all year for 2023. I still haven't seen All In for the most part, besides some clips. How would you guys rate the pay-per-view? It was almost 4 hours, which turned me off when I saw the timestamp, but I was sufficiently entertained by what I saw. No complaints about the show. I watched it from minute to end with no problem and only took a few short breaks. I don't look down at my phone at all during the pay-per-view. Well, let's get to the media scrum. Technically, if I wanted to, there's a good chance I could have gotten the scrum to ask a question. I'm affiliated with both Sportskeeda and the Sportster, but I just wasn't invested in World's End enough to make the effort. I would have rather gone to MSG on December 26th just for the atmosphere of taking the train to Manhattan during the holiday season, combined with the WWE show. There's something magical about that. Uniondale, New York, by contrast, is a very visual, inspiring setting. Unfortunately, I waited until WWE MSG tickets got too expensive. But if K100 went to the AEW media scrum, what would Conan, Disco, and Joe ask? Would all three ask a question, or would one of you act as a representative? Maybe Disco could finally answer the question in everyone's mind. Why did TK bury DI on Twitter? I don't know what I'd ask, but here's one thing I was thinking. What do you think there's been a general decline in TV viewership for wrestling since the early 2000s? Bro, we talk about this every week. Okay, here are some questions for you guys. What's K100's best AEW show of the year? And what would you guys rate as the year's best wrestling show in general? I refuse to do that because I don't know. I can't remember any specific show.
Yeah, dude, the year's very long.
Like, grief. I mean, come on. Good.
I like the night Austin wrestled at WrestleMania. Then I'll say that one.
Okay,
that
that's
night.
good.
That's all I got.
What about you, Conan?
What's the question?
Best
best
AEW
Because you had like 3 or 4 questions in here.
Plus 2. If you were at the media scrum, what question would you have asked Tony? You know what I would have asked him?
What?
Why you got to be?
How's your leg?
I said no. Why are you such a jerk?
I don't think.
Why you got to be a jerk?
I don't think Nick Hausman. I don't think Hausman's going to attend that many more scrums. So
yeah.
Maybe there's an open slot.
Didn't Meltzer once ask somebody how was his leg? Was it Punk?
Punk. I think. Yeah,
it was Punk. It was that same night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd ask I'd ask Cole how's your leg?
How's your leg?
How's your ankle? How's your ankle, Adam?
Right.
Did you watch any of that, Di?
The scrum, some of it, yeah.
Did you watch the Samoa Joe part?
No.
Those questions were so awkward. Everybody was just asking him.
Well, yeah, I was watching bro. Yeah, of course. I was listening to the questions are so stupid. They're like, that's why I tweeted. Did you see what I tweeted?
This is what's so sad. This is what's so sad about that company. That company has been so mismanaged at the core of so many controversial things due to their scrums that people are more interested in the scrum than the show.
Right. I want to say this. Okay.
Would I be incorrect in that, Disco or Joe?
Well, I knew this would get some heat too.
Yeah.
I tweeted this. I'm 56 years old and I sell better than the entire roster. Sell it as a skill plus effort. And that's true. I still say I sell people's offense better than but like 99% of professional wrestlers today. I can still do that.
Not better than Nia Jax, bro.
But that's true. I still sell if you punch me, I make it look like you punched me. That's something very good at.
Because that's how we were trained. Yeah.
Right. But I tweeted this. Let me see here. I tweeted. The wrestling media at the AEW scrums aren't media by any stretch of the imagination. They're AEW VIP meet and greet fans. Nothing more than that. And that got a lot of response too, by the way. We got a lot of likes also. One of my most liked tweets in a while. So, and it's funny too. Brian sat and blocked me after I tweeted something, and it really wasn't even that bad. These guys are unbelievable. I don't. How can you be that? How can you deliver dirt for a living, and then you get sensitive when people are critical of some of the things you say, and you block them?
That's a great question.
I just do not get that.
Remember,
you know what I'm saying?
Ryan worked for TMZ too, so he's
right.
He's a mudslinger. You know,
I mean, bro, if you're dishing dirt on people, that's what the job is. Oh, I forgot I did this too. I put up a poll. Are the dirt sheets journalists, give or take a handful of solid ones, mostly yes or no? What do you think the percentage of this, the percentage of yes and percentage of no was, Kilman?
80% yes.
92% yes.
Yeah.
So that's what people think of these guys, you know? I mean, bro, think about that.
You should post what do you call this? The
results.
Oh, I tweeted this too. I forgot about all these. The only reason I was watching this because I was watching the football game and I was half lit too watching these games. The only wrestling journalist I can endorse is Jason Powell. Follow him and compare him to the others. Solid guy, honest, doesn't spin narratives. A lot of people tweeted that Dave Scheer and Mike Johnson are kind of solid and honest, and I think Eric has like endorsed them, but Conan didn't because and actually the guy did come on the show after he was making fun of Conan and the Mexican stuff. Remember that, Conan?
Mike yeah, Johnson. But it was probably because he got heat over it. I did not believe it was real.
Well, but I will give him, but you can't.
I'll give him credit for that. 100%. I will give him credit that he come on.
Right. You know, these other guys.
But I didn't feel it was sincere. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're gonna have Chris Van Vliet on, so maybe he'll add to your list as one of the.
Oh no, he's I don't consider him a journalist. He's just guy that interviews people, isn't he? He interviews actors and stuff too.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. Okay, next is from Mark Warburton, somebody's World War III. Happy New Year to the crew. I was watching back some of the old shows I attended as a kid on the network to see how they hold up today, and I put on the WCW World War III shows from Detroit. I always thought the setup with three rings looked awkward as a fan. For us, the view was fine because we were on the second level looking right down at the center of the ring, but I can imagine it must have been brutal viewing for fans at ringside on the sides who only really got a view one-third of the card for the price. What was it like for you guys working these setups or even the two-ring war game sets? At some point, looks like some of the guys, especially the veterans, are getting frustrated having to adjust to the ring setup or even work the crowd the same way. Do any memories like that stand out from these shows? Thanks for asking my questions. No, the only thing is that it was very difficult to lay this out because you had to get everybody together, and it's just a colossal. Like nobody liked doing stuff like this. You know? Yeah. Would you agree with that, Conan? Yeah.
Plus, to this day, I've always said I hate putting together, agenting, being part of any battle royal.
Right. From the Frontiers Man and subjects Jericho and Sammy. Hello. Should AEW turn Jericho and Sammy heel, give them the belts, and lean into controversy to get heat?
Absolutely not, bro.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. That's a bad look.
You say no, I say yes.
Yeah, I'd say no.
And the only reason I'm saying yes is because the only reason I'm saying yes is because you said no. Okay.
All right.
Next is from Matthew Ince. The subject is Tony Khan has changed. That's like politics these days. You know, like if
like
a right winger says something, then the left winger says the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
the opposite, no matter what, even if they agree with it. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Next is from Matthew Ince, and the subject is Tony Khan has changed the wrestling business with the groundbreaking idea. Guys, we're ending 2023 with a groundbreaking idea in AEW. A faction was formed. That's right. Tony came up with the idea of putting Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, Mike Ben, and Wardlow into a faction. Are you excited to see how AEW finally having a faction storyline will be the game changer that puts them on top? Really, though, guys, wrestlers, how do you handle the head of creative being so uncreative? I remember you used to watch Impact. It seemed like every year the big ad was a new faction is formed and they're going to take over. To me, this is just the instant, okay, I'm not watching this. For me, this was months of TV dedicated an angle that we predicted the finish of months ago. Tony Khan sucks at this, maybe the worst of my lifetime. Here's hoping the 2024 is either you guys start making some K100 merchandise. Come on, guys, how hard can it be to come up with some T-shirt ideas? Well, if you want to give, you know why, Matthew Ince? Joe, pull up the Creative Control T-shirt store, and let's put it up here, okay?
Worse than that, Joe. Why don't you show this guy? What's the guy's name?
Matthew Ince.
Matthew Ince. Okay.
INC.
You should see the last T-shirt design that Joe had for us. It was absolutely brutal. It was like R3 suit.
I did not think that was that bad, Conan.
The Goodfellas.
Goodfellas look. I thought it was pretty.
Yeah, I thought that was very.
You thought it was way worse than it was.
Yeah, I did, and I did not want that. I did not want my name being associated with that.
Oh, we lost Disco for a second. I gotta I got a quick story about that I'll tell when Disco comes back on. Okay, so Conan was talking about how he didn't like the shirt design. And before I sent it to you guys, I looked around for some opinions. And I sent the design to Don Callis.
All right, I'll right off the bat.
Yeah.
The second one from the left is not that bad. Okay?
The American flag?
Right. That's not that. That's my okay, no, scroll up. Okay, the CCN is actually pretty creative. That's funny. I'll give you a little bit of credit for that. So this is the CNN thing. The Feeney's thing, the green was terrible. Wait, time out. Hold the phone. You actually have a T-shirt for your cat?
I do,
bro. He's actually asking for money for GoFundMe because the cat's got digestive problems.
You got
to say GoFundMe. I said if you want to get a shirt.
Let me ask you a question. Has that sold any at all?
Yeah.
Be honest.
Yeah.
No way. I want to see the receipts. You got to show evidence of that. Okay.
More than 5 or less than 5?
Are they addicted to the blade ones atrocious?
5.
The Mark World
Order. How many from you?
The Mark World Order is actually something that the Marks would buy. So I got to give you a little credit because it's. What's your best-selling T-shirt, by the way? Is it
MWO did good at first, and we don't talk about it anymore, so it kind of tapered off. Addicted to the Blade.
Didn't I give you that name, MWO?
You did, yes.
Yeah.
Addicted to the Blade catches some sales here and there because we still make jokes about it. But overall, through the years, the biggest seller was this one.
Beer and Wrestling?
Beer and Wrestling, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the biggest seller.
Okay, this one, the JoJo the Producer shirt is an epic fail.
Yeah, I hate that. I'm going to take that down.
Yeah. That's a Guns N' Roses gimmick there. What does that say? Creative Control?
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses. That's copyright infringement. You should take that one down. Okay. What's this blue one up here? What does that say?
WrestleCation.
That's pretty brutal.
WrestleCation?
Yeah, it's like
I can't imagine you've not sold one of those, have you?
No, zero.
Yeah,
zero,
of course not.
So why is it still up there?
Actually, I took it down. I don't know what it's doing there. At least 3 of these are down.
Interesting. All right. Okay. Yeah. So that's why we don't have a K100 merchandise there, Matthew.
Yeah, okay, next Matthew, one is I mean, just real quick, here's what I've said to people that ask about shirts. I'm like, tell me what you want. Give me ideas, because other than a shirt that says K100, I tried with the Goodfellas thing, but I don't have any ideas, to be honest with you. What am I? It's Boom shirt. Conan's done that. Kazoo shirt. There already is one,
Right.
So.
All right. Next is from Kevin Donald. Subject is Joe. I ran this email into the show on December 31st, which means the WrestleMania season officially begins within 24 hours. Right now, it looks like the WrestleMania 40 storylines will be CM Punk versus Seth and Cody versus Roman. Well, that has changed, obviously, with The Rock somehow being involved. As a longtime wrestling fan since I was a kid, it's very exciting times. What does Tony Khan do to compete with this? Why he had MJF finally drop the AEW title to an up-and-coming mega draw, Samoa Joe. Now MJF had to drop the title because he's injured in real life, and frankly, his run has been a total dud. But Tony Khan really couldn't come up with a single better replacement than Joe. AEW is 0 draws, so it really doesn't matter who is on top. Could have been Swerve or anyone, but instead Tony Khan goes with a guy who looks like he doesn't even want to be there. K100, what do you think about this? For me, it's a giant mistake, and Tony Khan has to be better if he thinks the Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole is going to work. I've said this from the get-go. Okay, I like Joe. Okay, Joe is actually. I have no issues with Joe with the title because he's like
believable.
He's believable. That's a position he should always be in the title picture. That's what he was when he was Samoa Joe coming out of Ring of Honor.
Think about this, Disco. Yeah. Think about this. Tell me a guy that's more believable than him on the show.
Nobody. And plus, two, he looks like a guy that, like, compared to the other roster, you look at, it's like, who's going to beat this guy? He's like big, and he's like, who's going to put this guy's shoulders down to the mat for 3? You know what I'm saying? That's what he physically looks like, and he wrestles like it too. So that's a good thing. But like the other ones, I'm like, they've pushed Orange Cassidy, and now they have that big what was this, the Continental Classic, and then they gave it to Eddie. I'm like, did you like when you look at all the performers they had, would you have said like Eddie Kingston should win this if this is like a sports-based tournament that we're doing and like, stuff. It's like I just don't get it. I don't know this. Tony just has this really weird.
They're in New York. He wants to send the home people happy because they're not sending him with MJF.
Right.
And he's like the chosen one from the fans. He wasn't really somebody the company pushed. The fans got him over, and then the company piggybacked on it. So they want to make the fans happy. That's how I look at that. But my pick would have been Swerve.
Me too. But maybe Swerve has bigger things. Than
right. Maybe crown. Too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He should be. He's gonna be in the world title picture. He should be. Bro, did you know that? Okay, it was funny too. Remember, we were like months and months and months ago. Well, we were saying, like, I was one of the first people to point this out. Like, he's one of the characters that really sticks out on that show because he's got personality and he's got a very cool looking skill set that's kind of unique, and it's not as indie as
doesn't look like everybody else's.
Right, he's from the WWE system. He was in it, so he knows how to work a style, right? But he still does. In AEW, he still does a lot of stuff I would rather not see him do. Okay, but
if you saw him on
but I was interested in watching. Like he was a draw for me. Like when he would be on TV, I'm like, this guy's doing some good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like, and it's funny because like I've exchanged conversation with the guy, and he's actually been in the club before, and I was just saying like, bro, like I'm saying, they kind of start pushing you. He goes, oh, trust me, they're going to have to soon, because he knew like, hey, I'm getting like listen to the people. I'm this like it was a very organic build with Swerve. You know what I'm saying? So
and if you saw him at the scrum too, Di.
Plus, let me throw this other thing at you real quick, just so you know. Sorry, Joe. So,
let's go.
When I went there that day, that I told you I met that guy Will Washington,
right?
Who had nothing bad to say about you, by the way.
That's delightful guy.
Yes.
They all like
no, because No, I brought him up to you, and he had nothing bad. That I'm entertained by disco.
Right.
And so I asked him what was some of his job description, and one of his job descriptions was to make sure that we got over African American talent, and one of the first guys, or the first guy, was Swerve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, if that was what he's been getting the job, it's absolutely. I got to give Will Washington credit then for working with Swerve and getting him over because he was in December. Swerve was the #1 merch seller in that company.
Really?
Yes, I just read that online today. I was like, wow, that's bro, that just shows you the
well deserved. Well deserved. He's been the hottest guy. He's been the hottest guy not named MJF.
Yeah, and he, what he did. Too, a lot of these other cats do not get it, bro. When he had that mic in his hand, and like he had a face off with Adam Page, he ripped the guy. And so, like, you had to bro. That's the one thing these other cats that just don't have the mic skills, bro. You got to eviscerate people on the mic when you get a chance. That's how you get. That's how people notice you. And these other guys are doing these promos in the back and just. It's lame, So this guy's he knew what he had to do, and he nailed it every chance he got. So more credit to him. So
I was just gonna say that if you saw him at the scrum, even in that environment, like the confidence, the cadence, like he just you want to watch and even see what he says there.
Yeah.